ceremonies today. In the interest of providing a better view for all our guests, the audience is asked to remain seated during the academic procession, which will begin shortly. Parents and friends may take pictures from their seats. However, we do ask that those who choose to stand, please to make sure you take those pictures from the rear of the cathedral. The ushers have been instructed not to allow photographers to walk up and down the aisles. Professional photographers will be taking a picture of each graduate receiving his or her diploma. At this time, we please ask you turn off all electronic devices, such as cell phones. Leading the commencement procession will be this year's representative of the Senior Class Council, Gabriella Ferraro-Michelson, and Student Body President, Nacy Woods.
honoring a 166-year tradition of educating in the heart of the city. The administration, governance board, board of regents, faculty and staff of Sacred Heart Cathedral Preparatory, and the graduates of the class of 2018 extend to you, parents, relatives, friends, and honored guests of the graduates, a most sincere and cordial welcome to the 31st commencement exercises of Sacred Heart Cathedral Preparatory. This morning's ceremony will begin with the singing of America the Beautiful, and then Sister Frances Meyer and Brother John Hoover will lead us in the opening prayer. I invite you all to please stand and remain standing for the prayer.
Let us remember that we are in the holy presence of God. Graduating seniors of Sacred Heart Cathedral Prep, Jesus has called you to be a community of believers. Wherever and in whatever circumstance you may be, and to recognize and celebrate God's presence. And so we pray. Be with them, O Lord, that today and every day they may lift a heavy burden, heal a broken heart, give without receiving, care beyond their part.
Be with them, O Lord, that today and every day they may have the strength, the courage, and the love to conquer all of their fears and to place their trust in you. Help them, O Lord, to accept your love, to share your love, to teach your love, to be your love. St. John Baptist de La Salle, St. Vincent de Paul, St. Louise de Marillac, St. Elizabeth Ann Seton. Live Jesus in our hearts.
Forever.
Our reading this morning will be delivered by graduating seniors Joseph Marcus and Hannah Reagan.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Jesus said to his disciples, As the Father loves me, so I also love you. Live on in my love. You will live in my love if you keep my commandments, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and live in his love. All this I tell you, that my joy may be yours, and your joy may be complete. This is my commandment. Love one another as I love you. There is no greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you.
I no longer speak of you as slaves, for a slave does not know what his master is doing. Instead, I call you friends, since I have made known to you all that I heard from my Father. It was not you who chose me, but I who chose you and appointed you to go forth and bear fruit. Your fruit must endure, so that all you ask the Father in my name he may give to you. The commandment I give to you is this: love one another. The gospel of the Lord.
We are called to act with justice. We are called to love tenderly. We are called to serve one another, to walk humbly with God.
Now it is my pleasure to introduce Emily Fukuda, who will present the salutatorian address.
Daughters and brothers, administration, faculty, family, honored guests, members of the Board of Regents, friends, and classmates, good morning. As I reflect on the past 4 years, I can't help but remember my first steps into Sacred Heart Cathedral. On a brisk November morning, a banner in the atrium boldly declaring S8C's motto, "Enter to learn, leave to serve," welcomed my awkward Irish for a day self. Immediately, I was met with the one thing that led us all to Sacred Heart Cathedral: the warm embrace of community that resonates throughout the entire school. 9 months later, I entered Sacred Heart Cathedral with all of you, hoping to one day realize this sense of community. Desperately trying to make a name for myself, I thought the obvious path would be trying out for a sports team. However, my efforts were to no avail. I feared that the rejection from athletics would ultimately foreshadow my rejection from high school. Feeling incredibly downtrodden and hopeless, I slumped around the DePaul campus one blue morning when I heard it: the harmonious blend of sopranos, altos, tenors, and basses. I walked towards room 703 and saw a line of students anxiously anticipating their voice auditions for chorus. I began to think, hey, they sing and I like singing. Maybe this is where I could find some decent friends. But what I hadn't imagined to find was a home. Throughout the next 4 years, by each following our own paths, we have all realized that sense of community which led us to S8C. I invite you to recall the various safe spaces Sacred Heart Cathedral gave you to grow into a community. Some of us found it through our peers in a classroom, with our small group on Kairos, or simply with our friends during break in the plaza. Ultimately, we all grew as individuals, pursuing our passions, trying new things, and developing our own sense of self. Think about what these avenues have done for you. What was the place you called home? For me, my home was in the theater, standing tall and proudly belting with the choir that found me 4 years ago. Chorus gave me a family, a constant, harmonious melody amidst the cacophony of chaos that high school can sometimes be. Regardless of whether your Sacred Heart Cathedral family was academic, athletic, or co-curricular, SHC taught us all the most important lesson for our generation to realize. We have a voice that deserves to be heard. Maybe it was when you first recited your lines for the Laramie Project, or as our freshman screams pushed us to beat the seniors in tug of war, or as you cheered for our baseball team as we won back the Bruce Mahoney Trophy in the last inning of the game, or as you stood in the rain at the walkout in solidarity with the March for Our Lives. But we've all seen firsthand how our voices can change the situation, conversation, and eventually, yes, legislation. However, we can't do this alone. We need to join in solidarity to be heard and make a difference. After all, a soloist isn't as loud as a choir. A quarterback can't single-handedly beat an entire defensive line. And a group of incessant callers can't be as easily ignored as a single letter to Congress. Whether you're an extroverted performer, a soft-spoken athlete, or an introverted bookworm, we all need to find a way to share our voices and make a difference. Using the communities SHC has given us, we've published articles in the Emerald, wrote spoken word poems, and assisted someone in need through LVY. We stand as the generation that will mold the shape of our nation, but we will be silenced if we can't work together. So, my fellow graduates, as our time at Sacred Heart Cathedral comes to a close, we can't help but cherish the shelters that our friends and teachers have created for us. But now it's our turn to do the same for others. Remember all that Sacred Heart Cathedral has provided you, and seek to provide a refuge for those who need it most. Last winter, Chamber Choir performed a song called You Will Be Found. In a time when society feels polarized, our performance warmed the audience's hearts and reminded them that they are not alone, even in the darkest of times. SHC Chorus helped me grow as a person and a performer. Now it's my turn to help others in their self-journey. We must use our newfound voices to implement change and provide sanctuaries for the homeless, friendless, and hopeless. Give the weak and powerless strength, just as SHC has strengthened you these past 4 years. Whether by returning again to volunteer at St. Anthony's, registering to vote, standing up for someone who needs a friend, or complimenting someone who just needs a little more optimism. We must embrace the community that welcomed us 4 years ago and brighten the world with our kindness and love. Replicate the communities you leave behind and ensure that no one ever feels alone, even when the dark comes crashing through. We've entered to learn the power of our voices, and now we leave to serve the voiceless. Finally, class of 2018, I want to leave you with the lyric that I heard that blue morning 4 years ago. May God hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you.
We are called to act with justice. We are called to love tenderly. We are called to serve one another, to walk humbly with God.
Speaking for the graduating class of 2018 is Christine Avenis. will present the valedictorian address.
Still, you're here. Feet on the ground, eyes up, hearts pounding, sitting still. But in reality, you're moving forward faster than you can imagine. The Earth rotates on its axis 460 kilometers per second and orbits the sun at 30. By the end of this speech, you will move a total of 120,048 miles, all while sitting here in St. Mary's Cathedral, listening to me. Now, there's a certain beauty to the high school experience. It's full of possibilities and paths that convince us, rightfully so, that we are untouchable, that we can do everything and be anything. But eventually, we leave. And we get tackled with taxes and mortgages, and we forget all of that. We declare ambitions as pipe dreams, and we compromise our wishes for practicality. Then we call that growing up. Now, I'm not encouraging you to do everything you want just because you want it. I'm encouraging you to find out who you are and to live every moment of your life with purpose. Growing up, I had witnessed a lot of the injustices in the world. As my family and I immigrated to America, the bad and the ugly was laid out before me in the form of nasty bullies and even more nastier naturalization laws. There were years of separation. There were years of living in rented house basements, and years of watching the hourglass that was the road to citizenship tick and trickle down. A childhood of waiting did not cause me to be naturally inclined to ambition. I had been complacent, letting adversity hold me at a standstill. I went to school, I went home, I went back to school, I went home, going day by day. And as people had told me before, and what they will tell you, is that you couldn't have done anything. You are not responsible for your situation. That, I tell you, is not an excuse. I can't single-handedly defeat the forces that seek to hurt me, but I also can't just stand by. You may not be able to control how your life is set up, but you are responsible for how you react to it. That is what SHC has taught me. At whatever age you are, wherever you are in your life, you have to find the compassion to do service for others and the strength to help yourself. I learned this lesson through this very community. The inclusivity and compassion SHC provided to me helped me realize that service was more than a checkbox for college, but a calling. It gave me opportunities of leadership and activism, all while surrounding me with overwhelming amounts of support and generosity. Whether it was student council, or helping organize the Social Justice Assembly, or developing ways to protest for immigrants' rights, I was able to find my purpose. And it wasn't until I came to this school did I realize that duty. Because the central point in everything we have learned at SHC is to prepare us for the very thing we make up, the future. And you have every chance to make your future the future. The wind that turns the earth round and round is the gust of breath that you push out between your lips to create a new tomorrow. It is what makes the world shift. For that, you have a duty, an obligation to make your mark on the world. As a living and breathing Homo sapien, you are a part of the human collective, and you are prepared. You may not feel like it, but you've observed the world long enough to understand it, as well as lived through 4 years of high school.
We've seen how to get into good trouble by teaching acceptance. We have watched our friends struggle through hardships and empathized with them at Kairos. We have found resilience in ourselves through heartbreak when Rashawn left us too soon. And we have observed with grace the power of true friendship. I am not worried for anyone in this room, because now, as I look out upon the faces I behold today, perceptions of individuals and biases or stereotypes are long gone. Here, I no longer see people as they were when I passed them by on Gough Street. I see them as they will be. You have limitless potential. It is only your job to act on it. That being said, you don't have to know what your career is. Some of the most interesting adults I've met don't know what they want to be at 53. You just have to keep doing something. Say yes to new opportunities. Be open to new ideas. Keep moving forward. Because the world does not care for it. You have a choice on how you impact the world, but the world does not wait for you. The grass will continue to grow, fires will continue to burn, but if everyone else is moving along with the orbit of our planet, why would you stay stagnant? If you still don't believe me, believe the scientists. We are at the last leg of my speech, and you have moved a total of 119,450 kilometers ahead. What will you do after the end of this speech? After the end of this ceremony? After the end of your high school experience? Will you find purpose, or will you keep sitting still? Thank you.
At this time, I'm pleased to introduce Assistant Principal for Student Life, Christine Buell, who will present the graduating seniors for the awarding of diplomas.
By virtue of the power invested in Sacred Heart Cathedral Preparatory by the Archdiocese of San Francisco, the Western Catholic Educational Association, and the Western Association of Schools and Colleges, President Brother Ron Gallagher and Principal Dr. Gary Cannon will now, in the name of the administration and faculty, award diplomas to these graduates. Assistant Principal for Academics, Joan O'Neill, will assist them. We ask that you please hold your applause until all the graduates have received their diplomas. Please be aware that we make this request so that we can honor every graduate on his or her accomplishment. We want to make sure that every member of the class of 2018, every family member, and every friend who has worked so hard to get to this moment hears each graduate's name as I announce it. Applause for one graduate might inadvertently detract from the next person's name being heard. It is for this reason that we ask you to remain quiet throughout the recitation of names. However, we understand how eager everyone is to express their enthusiasm for these graduates' accomplishments. Therefore, I invite you to join me in congratulating the class as a whole before we honor each of them individually. Let's give them a rousing round of applause. Thank you. I will now announce each graduate as they receive their diploma. Please save your enthusiasm until the last graduate has been called and the class is honored as a whole again. Mason Adams, Sean Allen, Bryce Almario, Alexander Alston, Julian Alvarenga, Maya Cerise Alviar, Ian Amaris, Madeline Ambrose, Juan Miguel Arcayena, Aaliyah Arcias, Madison Armstrong, Julia Attard, Christine Faith Avenis, Naidi Ayanian, Taylor Barron, Isabel Basabe, Alexa Bautista, Brian Edsel Bautista, Kyle Bautista, Lucas Beard, Dewey Beer, Luke Belber, Nelson Beltran, Jaden Grace Benitez, Jack Benninger, Santino Bigarani, Sabrina Byers, Katrina Black, Natalie Borgognoni, Herbert Boston, Ian Brewer, Nicolas Bridon, Grace Cahalan, Isabella Calero, Devin Canitas, Zachary Carey, Tara Casey, Eric Casillas, Daniela Katubig, Brianda Cerda, Joshua Cervantes, Dominic Cesari, Mandela Cesena, Keela Shayant, Christopher Chan, Brian Chang, John Chapman, Anna Maria Shavaria, Martine Shavaria, Megan Cheng, Zhu Cheng, Josiah Chin, Yana Chisholm, Brandon Choi, Glidell Chua, Fiona Clark, Karina Kostad, Miley Cohen Barshall, Martin Cole, Ezekiel Contreras Forrest, Nicole Cornell, Andres Cruz, April Cruz, Michael Curran Levitt, Amalia Simrat Wu, Hannah Dijo, Dominic Del Porto, Marcus Davignon, Matthew Dean, Claire DeCock, Pablo Dekovic, Sophia Del Carlo, Isabella DiBiase, Vince Dizon, Luke Donald, Isabella Dorico, Donovan Draper, Ricardo Duarte, David Dung, Ian Eady, Renee Angelique Edwards, Daniel Emmons, Sean Ing, Shauna Eng, Alejandro Enriquez, Alana Era, Jason Erdenbacher, Zakaya Erfe, Isabella Espinoza, Elena Tatiana Evans, Eliza Exala, Christopher Fanfel, Cheska Fernandez, Yanaya Fleming, Selah Flores, John Franceschini, Liana Francos, Katrina Freeman, Eugenio Fru, Jose Tripp Fuentes, Marissa Fujimoto, Emily Fukuda, Natalie Fung, Kira Gaffney, Maria Gagan, Amber Gaynor, Robert Gallardo, Daniel Gamba, Jacob Gomez Mendoza, Christian Garcia, Samantha Garcia, Gabrielle Garlow, Jedediah Garner, Willie Gasca, Justin Geronimo, Sarah Ashley Garib, Madeline Giles, Bryn Gillellan, Naraya Crisel Gimeno, Severio Giovanelli, Kyrie Glover, Beatrice Go, Christian Gomez, Jessica Gomez, Alexandra Gonzalez, Ethan Ray Guerrero, Gabriela Guevara, Isabel Guevara,
Jesse Guevara, Angelica Guzman, Edson Prince Hagape, Emma Halls, John Harris, Ariana Hatfield, Emma Hawk, Mackenzie Hernandez, Kyle Higa, Kinga Hope Csikszentmihalyi, Gary Hudson, Julia Humphreys, Mia Inocencio, Julie Ira, Christian Irons, Allison Jang, Helen Jimenez, Gabriela Ferraro Michelson, Adelaide Johnson, Jay-Z Joseph, Brian Kamar, Andrew Kent, Georgia Kerford, Dylan Keeley, Darren Kim, Oliver Kogod, Sora Konishi Gray, Anna Kretzer, Joseph Keel, Lana Kuo, Carter Kwong, Kayla LeCap, Bridget Laffey, Maxwell Lanus, Hope Lang, Tasbiha Latif, Envy Lau, Evan Lau, Adrienne Labrushin Clark, Brian Lee, Zachary Lealau, Amanda Lee, Annika Lee, Jonathan Lee, Justin Lee, Kevin Lee, Mandy Lee, Rebecca Lee, Madison Len, Brandon Leung, Agnes Lee, Miranda Lee, David Liang, Matthew Liu, Hunter Livesey, Dara Long, Sydney Justine Lau, Vince Luong, Imani Lyons, Kai Tong Ma, Eloise Magancelli, Sean Ma, Theo Maliaris, Jack Malone, Joshua Malunai, Adam Marr, Joseph Marcus, Miguel Marquez, Fred Lander Martin, Milena Martin, Guillermo Matos, Kaya Matosic, Sapuni Mavega, Matthew Mizuko, Ashanti McCreary, Christopher McDonough, Jack McDowell, Ronnie McElligott, Caitlin McNamara, Elise McNamara Pittler, Paige McNamara Pittler, Lauren McPartland, Sharia Meters, Emma Meadows, Elijah Medios, Matthew Mendez Fernandez, Jonas Mendiola, Kiana Marie Mirialis, Dulce Mesa, Alberto Meyer, Riley Mehalik, Danielle Miller, Pyvie Miller, Ryan Miller, Ariane Mitchell, Emma Mitchell, Sevag Mamjian, Gwyneth Morgan, Magdalene Morgan, George Morris, Matthew Murphy, Stephen Nakamura, Yong Nam, Sammy Nazal, Lauren Ng, Leroy Ng, Christopher Nip, Chloe Novillos, Mirai Obaraki, Sean O'Brien, Yonatan Akbai, Aaron Ogawa, Amin Oglesby, Ronan Orford, Jerome Manuel Pacho, Matthew Palomino, Catherine Pan, Patrick Pan, Serena Patel, Paolo Petrilli, Alexandra Petrini, Ian Pham, Kels Phelan, Allison Phillips, Emma Potter, Kyle Pring, Lauren Pugeda, Jolie Radnich, Tyler Ramirez, Tyler Ramos, Ty Rappaport, Hannah Regan, Warren Register, Michaela Rivera, Mia Roberts, Christian Rodriguez, Carla Rodriguez, Roberto Rodriguez Montoya, Mia Rogers, Gustavo Rojas, Andres Ruiz, Jaime Ruiz, Daniel Rupert, Julie Salazar, Leslie Sanchez Cazares, Eduardo Santana, Evelyn Sassouz, Andrew Saxon, Sergio Sazo, Ella Skanga, Nicholas Shaddix, Sydney Jane Shia, Clarissa Silvers, Gianna Silvestri, Jack Sinkovitz, Lily Sinkovitz, Christiana Peggy Smith, Raina Smith, Ava Soria, Gianna Sozi, Nora Spears, Sophia Standen, Andre Stanton, Saika Stevens, Miriam Stryker Hurt, Stefan Suarez, Jonathan Tam, Mia Tangen, Jorge Tejeda, Dakari Tillery, Keeve Trinidad, Alex Sai, Uriah Uila, Kathy Valadares, Sarah Varela, Adriana Vega, Ricardo Villa, Visadora Villacarlos, Tiffany Villagren, Isabella Vincenzi, Sarah Jade Wainwright, John Walker, Ryan Wan, Parker Whitcomb, Sean White, Sydney White, Rashawn Williams, Benjamin Wong, Jordan Wong, Reese Wong, Angie Wong Pasethkul, James Woods, Vivian Wu, Claire Wyckoff, Gabriel Yankulin, Casey Yared, Jacqueline Yee, Aaron Young, Keanu Jung, Wenray Anson Jung, Brendan Zhao, Nacy Woods, Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to present to you the class of 2018.
At a student body assembly last Monday morning, scholarships and academic and service awards were presented to the many members of the graduating class of 2018 who merited recognition because of their effort and achievement over the past 4 years. This morning, the faculty and administration take great pride in presenting 7 distinguished awards. Dr. Cannon will present the awards along with Brother Ron Gallagher. The Lewis A. Meyer General Scholastic Excellence Award, the highest and most distinguished academic award that Sacred Heart Cathedral Preparatory bestows upon a graduating senior, is presented to those students who maintain the highest cumulative grade point average for their high school careers. These students achieved nothing less than an A in their preparatory, honors, and advanced placement courses. The award is named in honor of a graduate, himself a winner of the award, who selflessly served the school for 4 decades as a teacher and assistant principal. This year, there are 3 recipients. Alberto Meyer. Catherine Pan. Patrick Pan. The Labouré Award is presented annually to the female graduate most exemplifying the charity and service of St. Catherine Labouré, D.C., giving generously of her time and abilities to others. We are pleased to present this award to Kathy Villardis. The Caritas Award is presented annually to the male graduate who has manifested true Christian caritas, Christian love, by giving generously of his time and self to others. We are pleased to present this award to Kyrie Glover. The Leadership Award is a special award designated by the Alumni Association in recognition of a student making untiring contributions to student affairs and activities. We are pleased to present this award to Nacy Woods. The following individual is being honored with 2 awards. The Matthew Englander Award is presented to the student who has shown exemplary perseverance in the vocation of student and is given in the memory of a member of the class of 1964 to a student who has succeeded in his career at high school in the face of physical challenge. The second award, the Brother Conrad Award for School Spirit, is named in honor of a faculty member who devoted over 50 years of service to this school. It is presented annually to a graduating senior who has exemplified Brother Conrad's spirit, devotion, and interest in this school. We are pleased to present these awards to Sean White. The Robert West Loyalty and Service Award is sponsored by the family of Robert West of the class of 1939, a longtime dedicated worker for the Sacred Heart Alumni Association. It is presented annually to the graduate who, by vote of the entire graduating class, has best exemplified the spirit of loyalty and service to this high school. We are pleased to present this award to Anson Zheng.
At this time, I invite representative of the Senior Class Council, Gabriella Ferraro-Michelson, and Student Body President, Nacy Woods, to escort their parents up to Dr. Cannon. This morning, as the graduates received their diploma cases, they also received a special diploma and certificate of appreciation to be presented to their families. I'd like to read the part of the certificate at this time. The Daughters of Charity, the Christian Brothers, and the lay staff salute you, parents and guardians, who have fostered Christian, intellectual, and moral growth in the essential partnership you have established with us through the high school years. Sacred Heart Cathedral awards this special diploma of appreciation to you, and we welcome your continued involvement in the community life of Sacred Heart Cathedral. Representing all the parents and guardians present this morning, we are pleased to present these certificates to Gabriella's parents and to Nacy's parents.
Well, this is the easy part of the program. Congratulations, class of 2018. We are very proud of you, and I'm here to bid you farewell. That doesn't mean just goodbye. It means do well. And we've already heard from Emily and Christine about the values that you embody. The Christian values of Sacred Heart Cathedral. My job is to bid you to farewell. Do well. We know you are well prepared. We know you're bright. And we believe you're going to be successful. So, farewell, class of 2018. Now, your last assignment is after the ceremony to give your parents and friends who supported you a big hug. Thank you. And here's Dr. Cannon.
Dear young alumni, I really just want to say 2 or 3 things. The first is actually, if you'll join me in thanking another graduate, and I'd ask parents, faculty, community, someone else is ending his 4-year journey here at Sacred Heart Cathedral, who has dedicated himself to the mission and to being a leader, as our mission says, a service-oriented leader with a commitment to living the gospel. And so I'd just like the community to take a minute to give our thanks to Brother Ron, who served as president these last 4 years. The last thing that we do together today in our ceremony, which we didn't practice because I wanted to get you out of practice on time, and you promised me that we were going to do it exceptionally well, is to sing the alma mater. But before we do that, alma mater, our mother, that's how we refer to our school community. And we want you to always know that there will always be a place, no matter how near, how far, in times of adversity and in times of joy, there will always be a seat at the Sacred Heart Cathedral family table for you. We're proud of you. We love you. Let's sing this alma mater one time. Stand with me, alumni.